Good evening. My name is Tracy Duncan, and this is the 16th time I've stood at this podium and hosted our Alumni Award ceremony. Not always in this room. We began in the Tech Pride room of the Rhoden University Center on the Friday afternoon of homecoming weekend, and just had a reception. Not always in this format of a dinner. Like I said, we had a reception at one point. I know in the past they had breakfasts. And we used to give awards in 3 categories only: Distinguished Alumnus, Outstanding Young Alum, and Outstanding Service Award. But in 2008, we began recognizing 1 outstanding alumnus from each college, like we are going to do tonight. But with all those changes over the 16 ceremonies that I've hosted, one thing has remained the same. And that's the quality of the alumni that we are so blessed to be able to recognize each year, including this year. So, congrats to you. On Monday, I stepped into a new role at Tennessee Tech in the newly created position of Director of Corporate and Foundation Relations. So next year, I'll be sitting out in the audience with you all, and someone new will take my spot here at the podium. It's been a great run, and I enjoyed every minute, but I also look forward to new challenges. So thank you all for the support that you all give to the Tennessee Tech Alumni Association.
Welcome to this annual event. This is clearly one of my favorites of the year. It's a great time to be together, and it's a great turnout, and it's a great representation of Tennessee Tech. We especially want to welcome all the awardees tonight, the alumni that are with us, and their family and friends that have come to join in this time, this celebration. This has been a great week. It's actually been a fantastic year already. This is our centennial celebration, of course, and many of you have been with us at multiple events throughout the year to help us celebrate 100 years. I said this recently. I had a great experience last week. Carrie and I were able to join with the Bells and the Volpes down in McMinnville, Tennessee at a noonday Rotary event, and so we had 3 presidents and 3 first ladies together representing approximately a third of the history of Tennessee Tech. And it was, I personally enjoyed getting to sit and listen to both President Emeriti Volpe and Bell talk about their experiences, and so that's something we don't get to do very often, but I'm pleased that they're with us here tonight as well to share in this occasion. We kicked off the centennial celebration last year in March 27th with Charter Day. And that was about looking back, festivities like Charter Day, looking back at our history and recall the great traditions here at Tennessee Tech. And we've had, we look forward to events that still are coming to finish out the year of celebration with new Centennial Plaza dedication coming up soon, a formal gala April 1st. I hope many of you or all of you can attend the gala, plan to do that. And then spring commencement in May. To wrap that up. We've got a lot of great things going on that sort of highlight this as well as we look forward, because we're planning our new science building now. Dr. Bowles, it is going to happen. That's right. And I want to get this straight. You won Young Alumni?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I was younger then.
That is wonderful. That is great. And we quit doing that. Is that right? Yeah, okay.
Not after me.
Okay. And a new student fitness center. We hope to break ground on the new student fitness center that'll go on the corner of 7th and Willow sometime in this next year. So we have a lot of great plans. Earlier this week, we unveiled what we refer to as Tech Wall. If you have a chance and get on campus to go down to the lower level of the University Center, you'll see a pretty remarkable piece of technology, a wall full of monitors. It's touch screens. It's all interactive. You can pull up about anything and move it around on the screen and learn about Tennessee Tech. But it's all about telling our stories. Humility is a wonderful trait in individuals, but sometimes I think those of us here at Tennessee Tech are maybe a little too humble. And we're not good at telling our stories the way they should be told. And that's a little bit about what Tech Wall is, but it's also about what tonight is all about telling our stories because they're fantastic stories, and we prove over and over again that we are as good as anybody anywhere, and we can compete with anybody anywhere, anytime. So this celebration, this ceremony tonight is about the alumni that have laid the foundation for all of us here at Tennessee Tech, the alumni that have created through their time as a student and through their time since then. Universities are interesting businesses, if you want to refer to them that way. It's the only business I'm aware of where the customer and the product are actually the same thing. You know, we take in students very much as customers, and they leave us as the product of the institution. And what you will see here tonight is the tremendous product that comes from this university, and all of you do such a great job. So since the time of the university was founded, our graduates have proven over and over again that they are bold, fearless, and confident, just like our Golden Eagle mascot. Your stories, the stories, some of which we'll hear tonight, prove that our graduates are prepared to change their world, and they prove it over and over again. I hope that with the stories you share with us tonight, you will continue to inspire greatness in all of us and those to come later. I think each of you awardees have lived the spirit found in this quote from Woodrow Wilson when he said, "You are not here merely to make a living. You are here in order to enable the world to live more amply, with greater vision, with a finer spirit of hope and achievement. You are here to enrich the world." And that's what you have done, and that's why you're being recognized tonight. I'm certainly proud to present these awards tonight and share the stage with some of Tech's most outstanding alumni. Congratulations to all of you. Now, Tracy's going to come back and tell us a little bit about the award, I think.
As we move into the actual ceremony portion, I want to point out that current students actually play a pivotal role in our event tonight. The actual awards themselves were produced in part by students in the Foundry class in the Department of Manufacturing and Engineering Technology. Those beautiful bronze eagle heads were produced by that class. Our string quartet started out as students several years ago playing for us at this event. They're now actually young alums, but they came from our School of Music, so we're very proud to have them entertaining us. And you might also note on the awards, our new logo, unveiled only yesterday, is displayed on tonight's awards. So this year, your awardees, this award will be super special because this is the first year we'll have that logo on it. So. And now to serve as MC for the remainder of our program is 2014's Outstanding Alumnus for the College of Arts and Sciences. And you might recognize him as the voice of the Golden Eagle Marching Band, Bob Luna. Thanks, Bob.
All right, thank you, Tracy. You know, a lot of people have said I'm somewhat dull and boring at the football games, but, you know, I try to be as exciting as I can, and no one has more fun at a Golden Eagle Marching Band football game than I do. Well, maybe Mark Wilson does when we win the big one. He likes to celebrate, too. So, thank you, Tracy. You know, the Outstanding Alumnus of the Year awards are given to Tennessee Tech alumni who have demonstrated professional excellence by achieving success and recognition such as to affect great pride among the faculty, students, and alumni of our university. Recipients are generally highly recognized scholars, business executives, scientists, politicians, athletes, or persons of comparable stature who clearly exemplify the excellence to which this university is so deeply committed. Alumni awards have been given by the Alumni Association since 1975. In 2008, the Alumni Association expanded the awards to include one alumnus per college per year, and the Department of Athletics began their award in 2013. And all of the recipients' names can be found on the alumni website at www.ttualumni.org. Thanks for reminding me about that, Tracy. All right, let's begin with the College of Agriculture and Human Ecology. And their outstanding alumni is Davis Watts. Yes. Let me tell you a little bit about Davis. He's a true man of Middle Tennessee. Born in Lebanon, Watts grew up on his family farm in Nameless, Tennessee. Now, while he was not helping to raise the beef cattle, feed the hogs, and harvest the tobacco, he worked in his family's general merchandise store. After graduating from Jackson County High School in 1964, Watts enrolled at Tennessee Tech as a first-generation college student. Watts worked hard to make ends meet during his undergraduate career. In fact, he lived on the upper floor and drove an ambulance for the Hooper, Huddleston, and Horner Funeral Home right here in Cookeville. As a result of his extra work, Davis attended Tennessee Tech for 2 extra quarters and was able to graduate. We were on the quarter system back then. That was not 2 25-cent pieces. Yeah. In May of 1969, he received a Bachelor of Science degree in agriculture with a concentration in animal science and a minor in economics. He first worked as a food inspector for the USDA in Columbus, Ohio, then took a job in public relations with Chilean Nitrate, traveling across Tennessee to work with the county extension agents. Watts began his banking career, however, working for First National Bank in 1973. Now, 4 years later, the bank had changed its name to First Tennessee Bank and moved their offices from Cookeville Square to the current building on Jefferson Avenue. Watts graduated from Vanderbilt School of Banking in 1974 and received a diploma from the School of Banking of the South at Louisiana State University in 1982. For several years, Watts has been ranked statewide as a top producer in consumer loans and overall production of revenue, an accomplishment he attributes to his education and community relationships. He's currently the Senior Vice President at First Tennessee Bank here in Cookeville. Watts remains active in various community organizations. He's currently a board member for the Tennessee Tech University Agricultural Foundation, the Cookeville-Putnam County Chamber of Commerce, the Tennessee Tech College of Business, and the Putnam County Farm Bureau. He is a past president of the Cookeville JCs, the Cookeville Breakfast Rotary, and the Noonday Lions Club. Watts' wife, Lou Ann, graduated from Tech with a bachelor's and a master's degree in education, and the couple have 2 children. James Watts, a TTU Fine Arts graduate who teaches visual arts at Prescott South Middle School, and Ann Boyd Davis, an accounting and finance graduate who is now an assistant professor in accounting at Tennessee Tech. Her husband, Wilson, is also a Tech graduate in mechanical engineering, and their son, Andrew, is now entering the CDL at Tennessee Tech. May I present the 2016 College of Agriculture and Human Ecology Outstanding Alumni, Davis Watts. Come on up, Davis.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you. I'm very grateful to have been selected to receive this award this year. It's the highlight of my career. First of all, I would also like to thank my family for being here tonight. My wife, Lou Ann, our son, James, our daughter, Ann, our grandson, Wilson, Andrew, and our son-in-law, Wilson, and my brother and sister-in-law, Jerry and Sue Boyd. Also, there's several folks that are here this evening that I would like to recognize. First of all, I'd like to thank Dean Liz Mullen and the staff and the faculty from the College of Ag and Human Ecology. And Dean Anderson, thank you also for being here from Human Ecology. Also, there's some special guests that have traveled a distance. Roy Burris Roy and his wife, Dr. Roy Burris, and his wife, he and I went to high school together. And Roy got a PhD up at the University of Kentucky, and they travel from, he runs the Experiment Station in Princeton, Kentucky, and they traveled a great distance to be here this evening. Roy, thank y'all for coming. Also, many of you remember I was one of Mr. Hyder's boys as an undergraduate. Mr. Clyde Hyder. Mr. Clyde Hyder helped me tremendously get through school, keeping me busy working and helping me. I was not one of the best students, but somewhat got by. And also, Mr. Parham, who was a dairy professor, and Mr. Parham is here this evening, he and his wife Deanna. Mr. Parham, stand up. I'm glad you're here. We could always go to Mr. Hyder or Mr. Parham. Roy can attest to this. They had an open door policy. I never remember going by their office when they were in there what the door wasn't open, and would welcome students to come in. And they helped a lot of us finish school financially and advice. They were always there, and for that I'm very appreciative. And there's also a lady, many of you remember, some of us that's been around a while, Miss Maddie Sue Cooper. Miss Maddie Sue was over in the library. She was very, very helpful. I remember going when I had to do a research paper or something, you could always go to Miss Maddie Sue, and she would always take time out to help students. And I'm very appreciative for that. And also I would like to thank the people of the Upper Cumberland who allowed me to be their banker. Putnam County, Cookeville, and the Upper Cumberland for several years. I've been at the bank 42 years, and I give credit to the folks here in Cookeville and Upper Cumberland for any success that I have earned during these years. Also, I'd like to thank my boss, Nelson Forrester. Nelson, I've worked for Nelson longer than anyone. Nelson come here in 1994, and he's always been very, very, very supportive of my family and myself. Anytime I needed to be off, he's always been there. And to Dr. Volpe, who is a dear friend, thank y'all for being here. Dean Bell, you and Gloria, thank you folks. Our kids graduated, I think Ann graduated while Dr. Volpe was president, and James during Dr. Bell's tenure. Again, I'm very thankful for this award. It's a highlight of everything for me, and I appreciate each of you being here this evening. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Davis. The College of Arts and Sciences outstanding alumni is Mark Norman. Mark Norman remembers being fascinated as a young boy by fossils and crystals in rocks around his home. Now that same captivation drives his career. For more than 30 years, Norman's occupation as a geochemist has taken him around the world to conduct research and teach about comet and meteor impacts on the moon and throughout the solar system. Norman's family has lived in Middle Tennessee for generations. His mother and father met as students at Tennessee Tech. After a few years of living in Nashville and Decatur, Alabama, the family returned to Cookeville when Norman's father took a job as the Director of Public Information at Tech. In 1975, Norman received his bachelor's degree in chemistry from Tech, and for graduate study, he chose to attend the University of Tennessee's geology program when he learned that a professor there studied the geology of our Earth's moon. Now, during high school, Norman recalls following the Apollo space missions very closely and figured it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to study his childhood dream. After receiving his master's degree, Norman got a job at NASA's Lunar Curatorial Laboratory at the Johnson Space Center, where he worked on a program that researched and cataloged over 700 pounds of moon rock samples returned from the Apollo missions. At the same time, Mark began part-time PhD work at Rice University, and in 1987, he earned his terminal degree for field work on volcanic rock in Idaho. Whew. He currently serves as Emeritus Fellow for the Australian National University's Research School of Earth Sciences in Canberra, Australia. And I guess we ought to go ahead and give Mark the award for traveling the furthest distance to get here. I guess anybody here from further away than Canberra, Australia? Okay. Norman is married to geochemist Vicki Bennett, who also works at the ANU. They met in Canberra and have been together more than 26 years. His mother Mildred passed away 2 days shy of her 90th birthday this past November, and his father Douglas still lives at their home in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. In his spare time, Mark enjoys club volleyball, get this, the Canberra Cactus and Succulent Society, and running with his 2 dogs. May I present the 2016 College of Arts and Sciences Outstanding Alumnus, Dr. Mark Norman.
Well, thank you very much, Bob, and thank you to the College of Arts and Sciences. I'm humbled and deeply appreciative of this award. I've had a lot of fun over the last couple of days catching up with folks in the chemistry and the physics and geology departments. And Jeff and Michael, you've got a great group of people, a great group of students. I've had a lot of fun. And I've had a lot of fun catching up and revisiting Cookeville. It's the second time I've been here since graduating in 1976. And actually, I'm amazed to see some classmates here in the audience. Bob and Dwight Henry and I served in the ASB student in the Senate, in the Tennessee Intercollegiate State Legislature, and honing our swords in that heady politics, the crucible of student politics. They told me I could tell some Bob Luna stories if I wanted to. But, don't worry, Bob, your secrets are safe with me. So clearly, the people that I met, the experiences I had, and the education I received at Tech have been cornerstones of my life and my career, and I'm deeply grateful for that. And so thank you again. And also a special thanks to my dad, Douglas Norman. Couldn't be here tonight, but he's back home, so I'll just wave to the camera and say, thanks, Dad. And thank you all once again. Now the challenge for me is going to be getting this trophy back home to Australia. So go Eagles, thanks. Thanks a lot, Bob. Yeah, it's a pleasure. Good to see you. You too. Fantastic.
You know, I could tell a few stories on Mark, too. Yeah. The department, well, my daughter's here, Mark. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. The Department of Athletics Outstanding Alumni is Gail Fields. An injury that put a halt to his potential career in professional baseball led Dr. Gail Fields to his chosen profession as an orthopedic surgeon. And a seat on the basketball team bench brought him into the Tennessee Tech athletics family, where he has developed into one of the Golden Eagles. You know, I can't say that normally. I mean, that is normal. Golden Eagles, that's how it's going to be. Anyway, he was developed into one of the Golden Eagles' biggest boosters. A native of Chattanooga, Gail entered Tennessee Tech in 1965 after graduating from Bledsoe County High School. 2 years into his collegiate studies, he began a 4-year stint with the United States Navy. Yes, including a tour in South Vietnam. He returned to Cookeville following his military service and received his bachelor's degree in chemistry in 1973. A serious arm injury in the summer following his high school days charted his course. Signed in 1965 as a pitcher by the St. Louis Cardinals, the injury put his baseball career on the shelf. The time he spent in rehab from the injury opened his eyes to a career in medicine. Fresh out of Tech, Fields began medical school at the Kirksville College of Osteopathic Medicine in Missouri from 1973 to 1977, followed by his residency in orthopedics at Southeastern Medical Center in North Miami Beach, Florida from 1977 to 1982. While practicing in the Middle Tennessee region from 82 to 86, he was invited to sit on the team bench by men's basketball coach Frank Harrell. That experience helped turn Fields into one of Tech's top fans in terms of spirit and financial support for the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagle Athletics. He moved to Idaho in 1986 and established the Blackfoot Orthopedic Clinic, a one-man operation then that has since grown into the largest orthopedic group in Idaho. The Orthopedic Institute in Blackfoot serves all of southeast Idaho and now includes 8 orthopedic surgeons. He has a daughter, Kim, and 2 sons, Josh and Alex. Fields has remained close to the Tech athletic programs as a fan and supporter, and he's also a major sponsor of the annual Bobby Nichols Scramble, sponsoring the Doc Fields Golf Party on Friday night during the 3-day event. He continues to be a friend of Tennessee Tech basketball with financial support for coaches Jeff Lebo, Mike Sutton, and Steve Payne. May I present the 2016 Department of Athletics Outstanding Alumni, Dr. Gail Fields.
Thank you very much. I'd like to recognize President Volpe, since I've been associated with Tech. Also, President Odom and Bob Bell. It's nice to be back in Cookeville. It's warm for us here. We sat outside, it was 12 degrees with about 3 feet of snow when we left Idaho. But anyway, let me say I'm very grateful and touched to have been selected to receive this honor. And thank you very much. Thank all of you who were involved in the nomination and selection. It's the most significant award that I've ever received and ever expected to receive. I don't think I'll get a Nobel Prize or a Congressional Medal of Honor. But anyway, as Jack Benny once said when he received the award, I really don't deserve this, but I have arthritis and I don't deserve that either. So I guess things sort of even out. So let me set aside the suspicions and there's some sort of mistake that I got this, and graciously acknowledge how proud I am to be among the most accomplished and worthy alumni from this great university. I mean, I've got so many friends here, and as they were introduced and I met Coach Harrell by a telephone, a student calling. I had been separated from Tennessee Tech out in Idaho and Miami, and called me to ask for a donation. I said, I'll give $1,000 before she could even give her spiel. And he said, where do you want to go? And I went, arts and science. And then I said, athletics. I think they're great ambassadors for the university. Probably more money will go get back, return. And she said, basketball? And I said, yep. And so Coach Harrell called me the next day. Said, I'm a basketball coach. I appreciate. And we've been friends ever since. And I have met such great people through Jeff Lebo, all the coaches that you recognize here. Mark Wilson, the athletic director. And they come out to my house. And so I just, I can't say how much I appreciate. And I think they gave my bio and how I wound up in Idaho. And I would like to recognize that helped me get my practice in a group, a joint venture, is Lewis and Debbie Kramer. He's CEO, came all the way from Blackfoot. Would you stand up, Lewis, please? A great visionary in health, just like President Odom is in education. And so he has a visionary and see where to lead Tennessee Tech. He did our company. So I want to appreciate him for coming out very much. I am really by no means the first to come to the conclusions that as we seek validation and acknowledgement from others, and the feeling of satisfaction and external assessment provide are very short-lived. And the real commitment and enduring happiness and fulfillment come from two things, I think, our work and our relationships. And I've been incredibly fortunate in the workforce. I've been able to choose what I want to do, whether as a chemist, with Dow Chemical, or as an orthopedic surgeon. And I love my work and the opportunity to do the things that I feel important to make people and the world a better place to live. And I give Tennessee Tech basic foundation for what I've been able to do, education. I am a first generation college graduate. My family finished 8th grade, both. My mother was 17 years of age when I was born. So I honor that very much through hard work, and Tennessee worked hard to get me an education through Tennessee Tech. And the honor awarded me tonight, whether they deserve it or not, is not indeed an incredible gift that I will always cherish. But it's as important as my work. It is especially gratifying to be recognized for a job well done. I confess with real remorse that I've been too many days in my life that I was so preoccupied with my work that I didn't pay enough attention to my relationships as a friend, a husband, a father, or a brother. And I regret that. But as I receive this valuable acknowledgement from this great university, I profess that nothing, absolutely nothing, means as much to me than the love of my family and friends, and the sense that they are all truly proud of me. And the pride that the people I care about is by far the most coveted award I can receive. How incredible and lucky and blessed I have been to have as many friends associated with Tennessee Tech to share this with. Jim Tomaselli, my soulmate Marcella, would you stand up? At the very core of my life is my long-time mate, Marcella, my children, Josh, Kim, and Alex. They give me purpose, meaning, and joy. I love you all. Thank you very much.
The College of Business Administration Outstanding Alumni is Charlotte Malone Swafford. Charlotte Swafford grew up in Harrison, Tennessee, a town so close to Chattanooga that she often tells her new acquaintances that she spent her youth there. When she began her college search, her high school principal encouraged her to check out MTSU. But she remembers preferring the location of TTU and the strength of its College of Business. Swafford didn't have a lot of free time for extracurricular activities during her time as a Tennessee Tech student. She worked for 4 years as an assistant to the secretary for the College of Business and Dean Lewis Johnson. In 1970, she received her bachelor's degree in business education from Tennessee Tech. After graduation, Swafford and her husband moved to Falmouth, Massachusetts, or is it Falmouth up north? I'm not sure, but you'll have to correct me. Anyway, it's at the mouth of the Cape Cod. She took a job 60 minutes away in Boston while he worked nearby at an Air Force base. In the 3 years they lived up north, she filled a number of jobs: bookkeeper, secretary, and payroll manager. This included working for the U.S. Department of Commerce and the U.S. Fisheries Research Vessel Port Captain in the Woods Hole, Massachusetts. This active career gave Swafford a valuable insight she used when the couple returned to Tennessee in 1973. That year, she took a job as a staff accountant with National Health Corporation in Murfreesboro. She continues to work at NHC, now as treasurer and senior vice president. For her, being part of a company that is committed to providing quality and continuum of care for the elderly is very rewarding. She's proud to have recruited several Tennessee Tech business graduates during her time at NHC. Swafford stays active in her Murfreesboro community, investing time and money into several charitable organizations. She appreciates the efforts to rejuvenate and maintain the Murfreesboro Town Square and adjacent historical areas, including Main Street. She's proud of supporting efforts to continue education both at TTU and MTSU. She and her husband, Rick, a real estate broker, reside in Murfreesboro. May I present the College of Business Administration Outstanding Alumni, Charlotte Malone Swafford.
I'm happy for you that you had such a strong, wonderful voice before this one. I really appreciate the honor and the recognition that you folks have given all of us here this evening. I think it's a great effort. I'm very proud of this university and its quality of education and its growth. My husband and I got to arrive here early enough this evening before dark that we could tour around a little bit, and I just think it's fantastic, the growth and the change in a short time, really. I get to see the quality and, in fact, reap some of the rewards of this quality education through the students that we're able to recruit to NHC in Murfreesboro. We have a large accounting department. We actually have 80 some odd folks in our accounting department. And it's, when I was 20, I would sort of lay low about being a graduate from Tech, since I was right there at the campus of MTSU. And my husband had just graduated from there. But today, I get to tout my location, my degree. I have grown up at National Healthcare Corporation, and that includes 43 years. And it's just been a wonderful career opportunity. I think most of us do not really either have a very specific awareness of exactly what we want to do and where we're going and so forth. Some people are fortunate enough to know that, but I certainly could not have planned my career path as it has been experienced. The company I work with, National Healthcare Corporation, was founded by a local surgeon in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and grown and developed from a very small local organization to a very large, publicly traded, and nationally recognized organization. We now in processing payroll, we're processing 17 to 18,000 payroll checks biweekly. So it's quite a different world as time has gone along. And I'm just very proud to have been a part of that development, and particularly the service and the commitment to quality patient care that we have experienced. We've had the honor very recently to have been recognized by Forbes as one of America's 100 most trustworthy companies. And I think that speaks very proudly of the accounting department. And I'm just convinced that you folks here are doing a wonderful job, and there is still a great need for that. I have been able to achieve a lot in my career, and I contribute that truly to hard work and a willingness to take responsibility. And I always take the opportunity, if there are students here this evening, to encourage you to approach your career path just that way, with being committed to do the very best you can with whatever task you're asked to do. And I'm convinced the rewards will come along right behind that. I could not have done any of this work without the support of my husband and the very strong foundation that this university provided me. And I'm just proud of it and continue to support your efforts, and appreciate the contribution it's made to my life and the commitment that you folks have to continuing to do so with the future lives of these communities. Thank you once again, and I will gladly turn this over to someone with a stronger voice and easier to hear. Thank you.
You know, Charlotte, it's okay for your husband to have gone to MTSU. My sister would not follow me to Tech after high school. She went to MTSU also, but that's another story. The College of Education Outstanding Alumni, Grant Swallows. You know, it may seem like Grant Swallows' undergraduate and graduate degrees from Tennessee Tech are divergent, but he says everything he learned at Tech made him the person he is today. After graduating from Livingston Academy in 1998, Swallows enrolled in classes at Tech. His love of writing motivated him to choose journalism classes, while he also played football for 4 years and baseball for 2 years. You know, I remember how many times did we hear over that speaker at Tucker Stadium, "Touchdown, Swallows!" Oh, that was great times. Anyway, during his sophomore year, Swallows met his wife, Beth Ann, while attending a meeting of Tennessee Tech's Fellowship of Christian Athletes. In 2003, Swallows earned his bachelor's degree in journalism from Tech, but instead of pursuing a career in news, he returned to his old high school as an assistant principal and a technology coordinator. Both his parents are retired educators. Pat, his father, and Louise, his mother, are both graduates of Tennessee Tech. As he got older, Swallows felt the need to explore a career in education, while retaining the skills he learned as a journalism major. A year later, Swallows enrolled in graduate studies at Tech, earning his master's degree in instructional leadership and a specialist in education degree. In 2008, he returned to Tech as an associate athletic director for development. He secured funds for and assisted in the planning and construction of the multi-million-dollar strength and conditioning facility, while serving as an adjunct professor in the College of Education, a position he still holds today. Today, Swallows serves as principal of White County High School. Under his watch, White County High School was awarded a $100,000 Celebrate My Drive grant and reaccredited under advanced ED/SACS guidelines. In his second year at the school, it was named a Tennessee Reward School, ranking in the top 5% of schools statewide for academic progress. Swallows serves on the Tennessee Tech Education Committee as chairman of the Upper Cumberland Principals Study Council and is a leadership course facilitator for the Tennessee Department of Education. He lives in Sparta with his wife and 3 children, Brady, Aniston, and Judah. May I present the 2016 College of Education Outstanding Alumni, Grant Swallows.
Well, I'm not sure how I follow that. I know that's incredibly rude for me to pull out my phone, but if you're a principal of a high school in the Upper Cumberland, we have a little game against the Cookeville Cavaliers tonight, and our boys team is 22-0, and I just got the text that we're now 23-0. So I know you don't like that, but go Warriors. So I had to check that before I got up here to ease my mind a little bit, I guess. I'm so thankful to be here. As Bob said, I spent 3 years working here in this university and attended this event all 3 of those years, and actually sat there and thought, wow, that's such a neat award. Maybe one of these days I might luck up and get that award. Never thinking that that would happen this soon. So I'm so thankful. Dr. Shank, Dr. Baker, and the College of Education, I'm so thankful that you all have given me this opportunity. And the College of Education did a great job trying to prepare me for being a high school principal. I don't know that you can ever be fully prepared to be a high school principal. It makes me think of my first year when I went out into the hallway and there were 3 chickens in the hallway. And if anybody, which a bunch of you know me, know that the only thing I know about chicken is how to eat them. And so why there were 3 chickens in the hallway, I'll never know, other than seniors wanted to get at their principal and under my skin a little bit. So I don't know what you're teaching in courses now, but if that ever comes up, you should think about talking about that. But this university has been so good to me. It's just been, as Bob said in the intro, there's been so many things that just happened in my life because of this university. I feel like I could be in the College of Arts and Sciences or athletics and the College of Education have all afforded me different opportunities throughout my life. I came to Tennessee Tech to play football. I know I should say that I came to get an education, but I didn't. I came to play football, and that was one of the best decisions that I ever made because I played for wonderful coaches. I have wonderful teammates, and it has made a huge impact on my life. I was so fortunate that I got the opportunity to play baseball as well, and then also get a journalism degree that I've used for all the years since I've left, regardless of whether I'm a journalist or not. The opportunity to learn communication skills and all the things that I've been able to do after that were foundational in that program. So I did that and then went back and got my master's in the College of Education. It was something that education, I feel like, is a calling on your life. I tried to run away from that for a while. I didn't want to do it because both of my parents were educators, and I just didn't want to do that. But eventually I found where I needed to be, and I truly believe that. And so getting those master's degree and the EDS degree and getting the opportunity to go be a teacher, and then I came back to Tech. It just means that I've been gone and back several times. When I left this last time, Buddy Pearson said, well, I'll still be at the Herald Citizen when you come back to Tech. But when I left this last time, when I got the opportunity to come back and work here, I worked with so many great people. There are so many of you here in this room that I worked with that just taught me how to be a better person, first and foremost, and a better administrator at my job. And that is not even a degree, but that taught me the value in hard work and dedication to what we do. There's just so many people that I could spend thanking here tonight, and I'm so grateful to the university for all that you've done for me, all that you've done for my family. As Bob said, I met my wife here, so that's my number one. Who cares about this trophy? I met my wife here, and we've spent many years together, and I'm so thankful for that. And I can see Mandy Thatcher is back there counting the minutes. She told me I only had 5. At the Hall of Fame banquet, she told me I had 5, and I went 13. So she's counting down back there, and I will move quickly. So again, I just want to thank you so much for affording me this opportunity. And I'll just say, I believe, and I tell my teachers this every day when we go to work, that as an educator, we make a difference in so many different people's lives, high school students especially. And for you, as Tennessee Tech University, you've made a difference in my life. And you're doing that and will continue to do that for years and years to come. So thank you very much for that.
Touchdown, Swallows. Yeah. God, I love saying that. Yeah. Yeah. The College of Engineering Outstanding Alumni is Trudy Harper. Trudy Harper earned her bachelor's degree from Tennessee Tech University in electrical engineering with an emphasis on electric power in 1983, a master's in electrical engineering in 1984, and in 1989 she earned her master's of business administration in finance from Southern Methodist University. Harper was recruited at an on-campus career fair in 1984 to work for Texas Utilities Electric Company in Dallas. While there, she held various transmission planning, generation planning, and state and federal regulatory affairs positions with the company. In 1992, Harper joined Tenaska, a startup company which grew into one of the top 25 privately owned companies in the nation. Harper served as general manager of business development for Tenaska and its independent power plant development efforts. She later founded and served as the president of Tenaska Power Services Company, the power marketing affiliate of Tenaska. She was the 2010 recipient of the Gulf Coast Power Association's Pat Wood Power Star Award for her contributions to the deregulation of the Texas power market. After retiring in 2012, she and her husband, Roger Knipp, moved back to her hometown of Soddy Daisy and now enjoy living by the lake. She currently serves as an adjunct professor in the Electrical and Computer Engineering department here at Tech. Harper said she was encouraged to become an engineer by a science teacher back in 1979 who knew she was good at math and science. At the time, she didn't know what an engineer was or did, but she said she found out she enjoyed solving problems. Harper said some of her fondest memories as a student at Tech consisted of the wonderful friends she made. She served as the vice president of Phi Mu and as chairman of the university's Student Affairs Committee. She's a member of the IEEE and the Honor Societies, Order of Omega, Phi Kappa Phi, Tau Beta Pi, and Eta Kappa Nu. To quote Trudy, "As time goes on, I realize what a big contribution Tennessee Tech made to my life, not only career-wise, but personally," said Harper. "I'm grateful and proud to be a graduate of Tennessee Tech." May I present the 2016 College of Engineering Outstanding Alumni, Trudy Harper.
Bob, you could read the phone book and make it sound really interesting, which is a lot like reading my resume. It's a lot like the phone book. Thank you all. Thank you, President Oldham, Vice President Braswell, and to all the leadership of the College of Engineering, Dr. Rensis, Dr. Motivali, Dr. Johnson. Thank you all so much, and thank you to my family, my mother, Sue Harper, my husband, Roger Knipp, who are here with me from Soddy Daisy, all the way across Highway 111. If you've never been to Soddy Daisy, it's a pretty good place with a funny name. Bob mentioned that I teach a class in the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department. It's a 1-hour class, and I call it Professional Development. And in that class, I try to teach junior and senior electrical engineers to be professionals. We practice shaking hands, looking each other in the eye, things that engineers are not particularly good at. But one of the things I teach is decision making, how to make decisions. And I start with this question. When you are starting to make a decision, should you try to make a good decision or the right decision? Now, I would let you vote, but then we'd have to argue about it, which is what we do in class. My belief is that you can't know you're making the right decision when you make it. The only way to do that would be to have all the data you will ever need and ever have. And by the way, this is why engineers are not always good at making decisions. They want to wait until they have that last piece of data. There's always something more they can know, right? I believe it's only possible to make good decisions in real time. You can only make a decision based on what you know at the time. Do your homework, be diligent, make your decision, and move on. Well, 37 years ago, when I realized that was the number, it made my heart hurt. But 37 years ago, I got to make the first adult decision I had ever made in my life. And that was to go to college and to be the first person in my family to go to college, and then to decide to come to Tennessee Tech. I left behind my parents, my boyfriend, this was really traumatic. All of my friends, no one I knew came to Tennessee Tech, but I had done my research. It was a great engineering school. I had come here and visited, and I liked the look and the feel and the people here. And Tech did me a favor and gave me a scholarship, which made it more affordable for my family for me to come here to school. And I knew then I had made a good decision. And I know today, and I've known for some time, that I made the right decision. Tennessee Tech has done a lot of important things for me. Tennessee Tech afforded me the opportunity and the skill set to be an engineer in a field that I have a lot of passion for in the electric power business. Tennessee Tech afforded me and taught me to have the courage and the guts, I guess, to take some chances that I wouldn't have taken before. I took this chance and came all the way to Cookville from Saudi Daisy. That was a big chance. But I've taken some chances and I've gotten to see the world. I even got to live in a really exotic place called Texas. It was really great. But most importantly, the most important thing that Tech did for me was it provided a community of people that have become my friends, that in some ways are the family of choice for me. And I love those people, and they have impacted my life in ways way more profound than the formal education that I received here at Tennessee Tech, and I'm very, very grateful for all of that. So I was very proud of Tech when I was here. I'm even more proud of Tech today. I'm really, really proud of what's happening here at the university, and I commit to you all, along with my husband, that we will do and be part of making this the kind of place where kids today want to choose to come to Tennessee Tech when they make their choice. Thank you again very much for this great honor. I appreciate this.
The College of Interdisciplinary Studies outstanding alumni is Cynthia Moore Humble. In 1974, just 21 quarter hours shy of a bachelor's degree in education, Cynthia Moore Humble left Tennessee Tech University on the arm of Howard Humble, a newly commissioned U.S. Army second lieutenant. During the next 24 years, Humble moved 18 times, raised 2 children, began her own business, worked in nonprofits, and taught adults at a local community college. She investigated completing her degree quite often. During the couple's first long-term assignment in Hawaii, Humble learned her husband's bachelor's degree in agriculture would allow him to teach kindergarten before her. However, the life of a busy mom and the costs and times associated with the transfer and loss of credits to a non-Tennessee school made such a transition difficult. In 1998, her husband retired from the military and the couple relocated to Northern Virginia. Humble learned the experience she gained working with nonprofits was highly regarded. And on September 11, 2001, is that right? 9/11? And on 9/11, Humble began working for the American Red Cross in their Washington, D.C. headquarters. During her career with the Red Cross, Humble was instrumental in helping develop a nationwide strategic volunteerism plan. She has led work teams in developing volunteerism best practices and trained hundreds of employees and volunteers all across the United States. During this time, Humble began to explore online education programs and eventually enrolled in Tennessee Tech to complete her degree. In June of 2005, Humble received a bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies with a focus in education and communication. She was certified by the Council for Certification in Volunteer Administration in 2007. To fulfill a lifelong dream of theirs, the Humbles found and purchased about 130 acres of South Central Kentucky farmland in 2008. Today, Humble and her husband own the farm at Three Hickories. They raise beef cattle, they grow commercial soybeans, and offer custom beef purchases. In 2015, the Taylor County Soil Conservation District named them the recipient of the Master Conservationist Award. In addition to working on the family farm, Cynthia volunteers in several community projects. She's active with her church and serves on the Taylor County Extension Council and is county president of the Taylor County, Kentucky Extension Homemakers Council. Humble and her husband have 2 grandchildren, Henry and Owen, and 3 dogs, Luke, Jake, and Miller. And she is the daughter of the late Tom and Laura Moore of Cookeville. May I present the 2016 College of Interdisciplinary Studies Outstanding Alumni, Cynthia Moore Humble.
Thank you. And it seems like a cliche to start by saying how honored and humbled I am to receive this award tonight, but I am very much so. And my sincerest thanks to Tennessee Tech, the Alumni Association, and the College of Interdisciplinary Studies. I also want to thank my mom and dad, because it was their encouragement that even convinced me I had to go to college. And I want to take a chance to thank my family and friends for being here tonight, who traveled to share this celebration with me. My son Travis, my daughter Leanne. I'm sorry, I'm only laughing because it got left out of the bio, but the dogs got in. And it wasn't intentional. So, I would be the one to leave my sister out. So I appreciate my family being here tonight. Even more sobering is trying to put together words of gratitude and thoughts that I would like to share. And as I prepared this, I had received instructions that, in the past, the speeches had been anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. Now, yes, my husband's eyes glazed about like yours did at that 15-minute comment. And then he uttered, "They've unleashed the beast." I will do my best to keep the beast contained tonight, which is why we've got this written down. And I want to also acknowledge the College of Interdisciplinary Studies. I've told many tonight, I actually went back, it's been 10 years, and I went back and I thought, okay, so what does interdisciplinary studies mean? Other than it is definitely a tongue twister. But they provided me the means and the guidance for which to complete my degree that I started many years ago. And by definition, interdisciplinary studies involves the combination of 2 or more disciplines into one activity. It's about creating something new and crossing boundaries and then thinking across them. This allowed me to earn a degree that was specifically designed for my goals. I believe that this program encourages the mantra, real success in life comes from finding what you love and giving your whole self to it. This is the rest of my story from what Bob said, and I want to tell you how I feel this College of Interdisciplinary Studies and this degree relates to me. I've been afforded many opportunities to cross many boundaries, and that divide, they focus, and they think in ways that cause me to reinvent myself many times over. Some of these opportunities place me not necessarily in the front row, but definitely not in the cheap seats of some of the world crises and issues that we faced. When I decided to follow my heart and not an academic program, I went from student to Army wife, and then found myself in a leadership role for our soldiers' families. You talk about crossing boundaries. And I was, what, 23 years old? That was a hard thing to do. Yet it was just a continuation of my education. Not only learning new things, like languages. The Armies have a language all their own. However, I am multilingual. I can speak a little Navy and some Air Force. But I experienced firsthand some of the challenges that face our military and their families, then and now. From long-term training exercises to short-term combat missions, from no-notice alerts to it was just a small malfunction with that parachute, from delivering babies to delivering refrigerators. I knew that when my Army life ended and retirement came, that I was going to miss it, but there was still lots of reinvention ahead for me. I've always felt called to give back and to share the gifts from which I've been blessed to receive. And working for the American Red Cross, an organization that I have been passionate about for years, was a dream job come true. In fact, my very first Red Cross volunteer experience was at Tennessee Tech with the ROTC blood drive. September 11th, 2001 was a horrific day, and it was my first day of work at the Red Cross. To be just across the way from where the Pentagon was and the plane hit it, to see the smoke, it was just a surreal moment. And I spent that first day assisting with sending blood supplies to the New York Blood Center, where sadly they were not even needed. And that began a 10-year career that spanned floods, hurricanes, bridge collapse, explosions, plane crashes, and that helped me to grow, learn, and yes, reinvent myself often. I used my love of people and causes and my leadership skills to help others develop the needed competencies to engage the more than 600,000 volunteers and donors throughout our nation and abroad to fulfill that mission. However, that desire to complete my college degree had not lessened through the years, and I discovered that I could do this online while continuing my day job and receive a diploma from Tennessee Tech. As a very non-traditional student, this program crossed boundaries for me, combined my past academic credits, my life experiences, and what I wanted to do when I grew up. It was perfect. And with that success under my belt, I tackled even more and earned my certification in volunteer administration. And today I help nonprofits grow, attract, onboard, and support volunteers. But reinvention has not ended for me. After years of searching, as Bob pointed out, in many places that left me in tears, by the way, we found farmland in south central Kentucky, just a couple of hours from here, and we decided to retire again and farm. Do you notice anything wrong with that sentence? So for the past 9 years, armed with his degree in ag and my desire to follow, and much help from the University of Kentucky, I am continuing to gain new skills and knowledge I had only read about, although not necessarily dreamed about. I can wield a brush cutter, clear hillsides and fence rows. If it's not too hot, too cold, too wet, I'm really kind of a seasonal worker, we've decided. I have learned how to almost separate one calf from a herd. They do not teach you how to get one cow out of the herd. They really don't. I know that when vaccinating a calf and someone yells, "Jump up there and grab the tail," that I should have on gloves and my camera. I have learned never to stop learning or dreaming. Tennessee Tech introduced me to the best parts of myself in many ways. Most importantly, to a young ROTC student who asked me to share a life of adventures with him. He always supports and encourages me, no matter how long it takes, and I wouldn't do anything differently if I had to do it again. Every little thing that happens to us, good and bad, becomes a little piece of the puzzle of who we are. Every successful person we read about all say pretty much the same thing. Do what you love. I know I am. And thank you again for this wonderful recognition.
The Whitson Hester School of Nursing Outstanding Alumni is Karen Ford Joyce. Now, this is not Karen Ford Joyce's first alumni award from Tennessee Tech. As Tracy made a reference to earlier, and Karen didn't get introduced for the other young alumni, in 1993, Karen was selected as Outstanding Young Alumnus by the TTU Alumni Association. But she continues to display the same dedication to her career that she did as a young alum. Karen is a native of the Upper Cumberland, born in Cookeville Regional Medical Center, and she's able to trace her family's roots in the area back to 1802. She attended Putnam County Senior High School, now Cookeville High, where she was the senior class president and co-editor of the school newspaper. Her love of reading and writing influenced her to begin her studies at TTU as a journalism major. She says that after learning how much journalists made, she switched to her second profession, healthcare. Karen graduated in 1982 with a bachelor's degree in nursing and is part of the very first class of nursing graduates in Tennessee Tech's history. After commencement, she spent time in hospital nursing, fulfilling both management and bedside duties. In addition to working on their farm, sorry, Cindy, went back to Kentucky. Yeah. You do not raise cows, right? Okay, all right. Let me read that sentence again. After commencement, she spent time in hospital nursing, fulfilling both management and bedside duties. In 1993, she was recognized by the American Association of Critical Care Nurses as Nurse Manager of the Year. That same year, she completed her master's degree in nursing from the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. Now, Joyce hasn't always been a student. In the mid-90s, she taught medical surgical nursing and nursing management at Tennessee Tech. In 2000, Karen was the first nurse practitioner to serve a rural health program begun by Dr. Kenna Williams and Sue Neal for low-income and uninsured patients down in Baxter, Tennessee. The Baxter Rural Health Clinic continues today and has been instrumental in improving the health of underserved populations all over the Upper Cumberland. 9 years later, Karen opened her own private Cookeville practice, Joyce Healthcare, along with her twin sister, Kim Murphy. Their medical facility cares for over 2,500 regular patients. And as Karen regularly points out to her young college-bound patients, that Tennessee Tech is a great place to get an education. Karen is a member of several prestigious nursing associations, including the Tennessee Nurses Association, the American Nurses Association, and the American College of Nurse Practitioners. Karen is the wife of John Joyce and the daughter of Miss Nettie Ford and the late Chuck Ford. She has 2 dogs, a 17-year-old Shetland sheepdog named Shirley. Whoa, do I need to say that again? A Shetland sheepdog named Shirley, and a 5-year-old Labrador named Sonny. Whoa, I did get it right. She and John have 1 son, John Daniel, and 2 grandchildren, Becky and John Paul. May I present the 2016 Whitson Hester School of Nursing Outstanding Alumni, Karen Ford Joyce.
I'm really honored to be recognized tonight. I thank the university, the Tennessee Tech Alumni Association, and particularly the staff, faculty, and administration of the Whitson Hester School of Nursing. I was listening to everyone's bio tonight, and I thought, you know, I spend my days telling people why they need to unplug the blender before they stick their finger in it, and why they don't need an antibiotic for their sore throat, which is way harder than most people think it is. But as Bob said, and Bob, do you sing as well as you speak? No. Oh, okay, well, all right. Maybe we'll never have to learn that then, right? I own a nurse practitioner ran clinic, Joyce Healthcare. It's over in Premier Diagnostic Park. over on Washington Avenue. My twin sister, Kim, and since we are on camera, that would be my evil twin sister, Kim. And I started the business in January of 2009. It's like I've told Dr. Waymee, my twin sister and I don't look anything alike, but our personalities are very different. And whereas you do not want me to balance your checkbook, repair a piece of equipment, or try and fix your car, my twin sister is capable of doing all those things. So when I was ready to start my business, Kim had gotten laid off from her job. It was right when economics were kind of changing and things were kind of getting tough for people. And she goes, "Can I come and do something at your office?" And I said, "Yes, you can come and run it." And run it she does. Our patients range in age from 2 years old to 96 years old. We work very hard to provide timely and evidence-based care. Some of our patients are on the fringes of society. Some of our patients are in the church calendar every month, but we treat everyone the same. We certainly respect and admire our patients, some of the difficulties that they go through emotionally and physically to be able just to get up every day and meet the day ahead. Besides my twin, who, as I said, is the office manager, I am going to give a shout out to each one of my employees. I have an employee named Candace, and she is at the front desk with a smile on her face, checking patients in. Chelsea checks patients out and does my referrals and tells me why insurance won't let me send that patient to this doctor. And my nurse, Tammy, who is just a lifesaver and is always there to help with the patient situation. My pharmacy tech, Ashley, because we spend a lot of time getting prior approvals and patient assistance so that our patients can afford their medicines. 2 years ago, I added a Tennessee Tech graduate, Chelsea Medley, to our staff as a second nurse practitioner, and we continue to grow and are proud of the care that we give. My career wouldn't be possible without Tennessee Tech. Roy Anderson, a local physician, and an Upper Cumberland native such as I am, we used to sit around and talk about, I'm poorer than you because, to see who was the poorest growing up. But he told me, we were sitting talking one day, and I remember now why this story happened. We were sitting at the clinic, and Dr. Anderson was flipping through the Herald-Citizen, and he said, "Look at this young lady. She's valedictorian of Cookeville High School. She's gotten over $200,000 in scholarship offers, and she's going to be going to Harvard." He slammed that paper, and he goes, "You know what? If it hadn't been for Tennessee Tech, I never would have had a chance to go to college." And I believe the same for myself. He told me that when he came down in the early 60s and applied for that first quarter, he had $30 with him. When he got to the checkout line and was ready to pay his fees, he was short $5. And he said, "I just knew they were going to turn around and tell me just to head on back to Byrdstown." He said, "But she told me," the billing clerk said, "You just pay what you can every month this quarter until you get it paid off, but you do have to have it paid off by the end of the quarter." And so I just thought that was the same for me. I had a sister, Pam. She graduated from Putnam County Senior High in '69 and graduated from Tennessee Tech. And I knew then that even though we weren't wealthy, that there was a way for poor kids to go to school. And I was going to find out how to do that. I benefited from 2 government grants. And you know, I read today that you may make $100,000 and your kid can still get a Pell Grant. That's interesting to me. I went on what was a basic grant at the time, which is what we call the Pels now. And I also went on what they call a Tennessee Student Assistance Award. By the time that I paid my maintenance fees of $126 and paid for my books, which was always less than $180. Do you know they have books that are $180 a piece now? I had just enough money left over to get some clothes off the sale rack. I left school every day and ran home real quick because my mother kept a handy stock of ravioli, Chef Boyardee available. I ate a can of ravioli, went back to school so I could save some money and not have to eat out. I've never ate ravioli again. I drove a 63 Chevy that every time you turn left, the motor mounts were broke. So every time you turn left, it dropped down to neutral, and you'd have to put it back into drive. The chassis, underbody of the car was rusted out, but it comfortably held 6 nursing students barreling down the interstate on their way to clinicals. I'm pleased now that we have the Tennessee Promise, we have the Hope Scholarships, so many more opportunities for what Dr. Anderson and I call poor country kids a way to get an education. Years ago, when I started in the School of Nursing, 1980, we were the first nursing class. We called ourselves the guinea pigs. And I told my boyfriend, who is now my husband, 32 years, 35 years, somewhere in between, that he said, the School of Nursing, where's the School of Nursing at Tennessee Tech? And I said, well, we're in the old Tech campus building. And he goes, didn't they condemn that building? I will attest to the fact that we did suffer and survive a demonically possessed heating and cooling system, a sewer system that was just as bad. Our lab equipment and some of our lab, as well as our lab equipment, I imagine some of it was secondhand, but we had first-class faculty that was determined to develop a School of Nursing in the Upper Cumberland. Becky Talbert, where are you? Glad you stayed for me, Beck. Rebecca Talbert and Carolyn Whitaker, along with the other members of the first faculty and the dean, literally put that school together through determination and grit. I don't think a lot of people realize, and I'm sure our physician does, that when you go to some professional schools, those schools have to be accredited, and they have to be accredited so that you are then able to take those board exams when you graduate. We had one of the fastest national accreditations because of Becky Talbert, Carolyn Whitaker, and the other faculty of any School of Nursing that had ever been approved. So it was just incredible what they did with very few resources. I'm indebted to that first faculty. All of us are indebted to them that are graduates of the School of Nursing. Now we have a building. We have the prettiest building on campus. If you've not been to it, please go. It is absolutely gorgeous. And the faculty today carries the same desire for excellence in nursing as the original faculty, and the graduates are professional, competent, and caring nurses. Here's my fancy line. Just as the carillons of Derryberry Hall echo through Cookeville today, the impact of Tennessee Tech resounds through the Upper Cumberland. Ask your child's teacher where they went to school, Tennessee Tech. Ask your nurses at the hospital where they went to school, Tennessee Tech. Ask your banker, Davis, where are you? Hi, Davis. Hey, Lou, how are you? Ask your banker where he or she went to college, Tennessee Tech. I gotta change pages. And Ricky's not here tonight. Ricky Shelton's a special person to me. We know each other through the healthcare business, but he's also our mayor. And I said, Ricky, if you're here tonight, I'm gonna say, and ask your mayor where he went to college, Tennessee Tech. Ask the artists in the studios over on West End where they got their degree, Tennessee Tech. Ask the symphony tuba player, the newspaper reporter. And I worked at the Herald Citizen, and that's how I found out what they made, and that's why I left journalism. But I still love to read and write. The engineer at the plant, the lawyer that handles your legal needs. All of us have Tennessee Tech to thank for our careers. The leaders, educators, and professionals in the Upper Cumberland area are forever indebted to this university for being here, for being in this little neck of the woods. I don't know if any of you know this, and my mother told me this, and she was told this information by Roy Acuff. Everybody know who Roy Acuff is? All right. My mother was sitting at Opryland. She had just drove a bus full of students down there. I think she went to Opryland, 18 times in 1 month when it opened, taking kids for their school trip. The bus drivers got to where they would just sit at the entrance to Opryland and say, y'all go on, have fun. But Roy Acuff met my mother And he said, and he asked my mother where she lived, and she told him, he goes, do you know that you live on the largest plateau in the world? We're not the tallest, but we're the largest. So many of us would not have had an opportunity to have gotten an education. I've not been anywhere fancy. I've not done any great research, but I've provided care for 35 years to my friends, family, and our neighbors in the Upper Cumberland. I thank you so much for this honor and for recognizing my life's work.
Well, thank you all very much this evening, and one more round of applause for our great honorees tonight.